Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I am your host, Sean Walchef. This is a CaliBBQMedia production. We are coming to you from Austin, Texas, from the Restaurant Transformation Festival. Thank you to Restaurant 365 for getting business leaders from all over the United States to come to this 2 days of programming, sold-out event, and introducing me to really cool people and really cool families that are doing great things. Bob, F&P.
Indeed.
F&P Brands.
Indeed.
Food and people.
Keep it simple. That's what we love to do.
Let's talk about food and people. Tell the audience who you are. Tell us the size and scope of F&P Brands.
Yeah, appreciate it, Sean. Thanks for having me. Wanted to keep it simple. Core competencies, what we love to do, food and people. So currently we operate with 3 different franchises. 2 of them rolled in one, but we work with Focus Brands on the Schlotsky side and Cinnabon. And then we work with American Dairy Queen on Texas Dairy Queen here locally.
How many stores?
Currently, we operate 38 units.
38 units.
Yes,
How
sir.
many people?
Right at about a little under 1,000. So
A little under 1,000 people.
hey, that's why it's in our name.
That is a significant scale and scope when you talk about food and people. How did it start?
Yeah, it's actually a great story. So one, I speak about them like people, but I'm blessed to have them as parents. But mom and dad started in the restaurant, 15 years old, 16 years old. Dad in the back of house, mom in the front of the house. I think she was awarded the youngest manager in the system at the time. And they had some good mentors, good friends, and they kind of just started there. And sure enough, stumbled upon owning their first unit in their early 20s.
When was that?
That was 1986, I believe.
Okay. Which franchise?
Dairy Queen, and
Dairy
it was
Queen.
down in the Rio Grande Valley, far Texas.
Okay.
So they put a lot of hard work into it, a lot of vision, but really they just kind of funny full circle, but they just loved food and people, man. So they rocked with it, and sure enough, they scaled a little bit. And
How did they get from 1 to 2?
Yeah, so I think it kind of happened naturally, but their mentor and some mentors were multi-unit operators, and I don't think they ever thought they'd be, they didn't really have a set vision. They just
They didn't
wanted
think
to do
they'd have
things
1,000
right.
people.
No,
They would be responsible for their livelihoods
No, not at all.
and serving
But,
hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people with your food.
Yeah, the numbers game is crazy, but it definitely gets there.
It definitely gets there when you've been serving food since 1986.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot with our staff, and then as many touch points as we have, you experience a lot of things.
Yeah.
But man, they get started and then they get rolling, and fast forward, over 35 years now, and they're actually they're in advisory roles, but they're out of the business and second generation, and we're off and running.
So who's the second generation?
That would be me.
And
that
who
would
else?
be me. And
Any
my
brothers,
lovely
sisters?
sister, Lenzda, she's here as well.
Okay.
My brother-in-law, he just joined this year officially. He's part of the Schlotsky's brand, but we all have active roles in the company. I think it's important to differentiate the two. We're part of ownership, but we also are employed by the company and have active roles, mine being Chief Development Officer. Us 3, along with our amazing team, we try to just have some fun, work hard, and watch each other's back.
I talked to an incredible family out of South Florida yesterday, 5 restaurants, but they were talking about passing the torch. Can you bring us to the point where your parents decided that they wanted to take a less active role?
Hey, let me start by telling you I got fired a couple of times. Let's start there.
How many times did you get fired?
Officially, I think it was once.
Officially
but,
once.
It probably could have been more than once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story, man, but I love looking back, and it's really made me who I am today. I started as a franchisee very young. I helped my father with some due diligence on a summer on a potential acquisition, and nothing came together for him, but I got left with all this experience and kind of this excitement from we're going to buy some restaurants.
Yeah.
And so I was attending Trinity University in San Antonio, a finance major, and then said, you know what, I think I'm ready for this. And I quickly found out I wasn't ready.
In National Restaurant Association show, Kyle and Sarah and myself, we were at the Davos sales tax booth and we were polling restaurant owners on the floor. This was a very unscientific poll, but the results are resounding. Restaurant owners do not like sales tax. Nobody likes sales tax. Doesn't matter what business owner you are, small business, big business. Davo automates the sales tax process. We are so grateful that Davo is the sponsor of this show. They automate sales tax at our CaliBBQ restaurants. It is $50 a month. It integrates with all the major point of sale partners, including Toast. So if you want to sleep at night, if you want to not worry about sales tax, go to Davo, check them out, Davo Sales Tax. Let us know how they're helping automate your sales tax in your restaurant so that we can share your Davo story on digital hospitality.
But I jumped in, man. I jumped in.
Are you telling me what they teach you in school is different than the real life?
Yeah, I would say experience is a little bit different, but great school, but yeah, very humbling experience. So I get into the business, stumble, a few times, and then kind of make a decision of, hey, maybe I need a little bit more experience. So I go and work for different restaurateurs, worked for Chick-fil-A, Papa Dough, different private companies, was in the bar business for a little bit, and then came back in my early 20s. And so funny story, my first responsibility, even though I had ownership and was a franchisee at the time, but I really respected my folks. And Dad says, okay, well, I need ovens delivered to all the restaurants. So get a U-Haul and figure it out. So I'm there going, all right, I was a franchisee a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of swallow my pride, but man, I'm super thankful for it. And
did you deliver the ovens, or did you
get
fired for not delivering?
No.
How did you get fired?
Well, that was right before I ventured off.
Okay,
yeah.
right before you got ventured.
Yeah, it was almost
your
kind
mom
of
or your dad.
It was my dad. I mean, we just such different styles, and I think I even played a role in probably firing myself. I just quickly realized, I got a little ahead of myself. You think you know things, but you really have to. You have to have this industry's tough. You have to have a very deep understanding of what you're dealing with, and it's a very simple, humbling, process. But it's still a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard work, man. So you got to put yourself in your team's shoes and in your customer's shoes, and I'm just really thankful for going through that process. And yeah, now fast forward 12 years or so, we're rocking and rolling.
When you look at how do you look at becoming a franchisee as far as the brands go? Like, where did you decide? You said the first was Dairy Queen, then you branched out to Schlotzsky's, or?
Yeah, I similar to my parents, I'd say that that's all we knew at the time.
Yep.
I mean, we had an opportunity. They had an opportunity, and my sister did a few other things prior to coming into the business. But I was always fascinated by food. I was always in the kitchen. Loved numbers. Loved working with my dad, and quickly started to learn about the business, but about Dairy Queen. Mm-hmm. Learned about restaurants. Learned about fast food or quick service restaurant. Didn't really know a lot about the industry. Mm-hmm. Then I started to realize, okay, there's a lot behind this, and there's a lot more to learn. And so that's when the conferences started. I've attended several, similar to the one we're here, where we're here today. And it's great, man. You meet some great people. You learn that there's some great operators out there with vision. They have a deep understanding of the industry, about product, about marketing, about technology, data, talking a lot about that today. And yesterday. And so at that time, probably 5-6 years ago, we set out to start diversifying a little bit, start operating at a different pace, introduce a lot of technology, move to a data-driven company, and start making decisions a little differently. And then the rebranding came in, Food and People. We kind of complicated the heck out of it, and then said, what are we doing, man? We love food and people. Let's just leave it at that. So
really,
yeah.
Tell us about the rebrand. What was the original name?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. My dad's middle name is Lee, Robert Lee, and my mom's is Lynn. So it was Lynn Lee, and so everybody would call us and be like, hey, I want to talk to Mr. Lee. I want to talk to Mrs. Lee, and we're like, well, there's no Mr. and Miss Lee here, but. So they had to deal with that, literally, man. True story. They had to deal with that for years. And it's it was
That's so funny.
They
This
literally
is Lynn and
called
Lee's
it.
restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of technically, but
not really, right?
not really. You
And
definitely
so-
don't know us.
But yeah, so then we talk about it as a family. I mean, it was a big decision, slightly emotional for me, more so than my parents. My parents were,
Whatever.
empowering and rolling with it and saying, hey, this is what it takes to, kind of evolve. Emotional for me because that's what I heard, growing up my whole life, Lynn Lee. But Lynn Lee is still an entity and operates as Dairy Queens, but the management company or all of our overhead we placed into F&P Brands, and that's where a lot of the strategy came in, a lot of the development, evolving, and that's how we get from, I guess, the time we started, maybe 20 units to the 40 odd units that we're operating today, and we're plus or minus. We've closed and opened some. Just really proud of our team where we're at today. Proud of all the folks we've invested in here this week.
How many?
To bring them? We're a total of 7. We were supposed
That's
to be
amazing.
8, but
Good for
we're
you.
about 7 of us here today.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. I think it's important that they hear it straight from the source.
Yep.
They're professionals in their own right, and they have very incredible talents. And I'd be kidding myself if I thought I could do it all, And so it takes a team effort. So accounting teams here, we have accounts payable, we have our senior accountant, we have our office manager that plays an integral role in administration, our treasury managers here as well, my brother-in-law, which is legal and real estate, and my sister in HR, and we're just trying to learn all we can about R365 and try to maximize the tool. Been on it a couple of years. And
what made you switch over?
I think it originally started with, we rewind a couple of years before that decision. It was all about, hey, how do we get onto a collaborative platform, right? How do we take what we're doing and be able to do it from anywhere? Because we have got to be in our restaurants, right? We've got to be traveling. We've got to be looking at sites. We've got to be looking at locations, but I got to also see what's going on.
Yeah.
And so we moved from your kind of traditional operating systems to cloud-based, pretty much everything. Collaborative. We're big on the G Suite or the Google business. And so that kind of started. We actually befriended and hired, but befriended a good mentor of mine that worked in Google and reported directly to Larry Page.
Really?
Yeah, he's a neat individual. Really tragic. Unfortunately, he passed in a really tough deal where he was giving back kind of his community service and teaching the individual how to fly, but they didn't make it in a little prop plane. But his story is amazing, and it resonates with our team. Management styles are very different. He was a German individual, and we're a bunch of Hispanics, and there's nothing wrong with either, but there's some clash there.
Sure.
Yeah, man. So we learn a bunch and about technology and about how we should operate differently. And then we fast forward and go, okay, well, the heart of this is our financial reporting and our accounting system, and we need to try to jump it up here. So tried a couple different cloud-based solutions, and it just was too many transactions. We currently, we have a few different entities. Our structure's a little bit different. Real estate's involved, and so we need something that was a little bit more robust. And 2 years down the road, we're figuring out it's really robust.
Yeah.
So we're here trying to learn more.
How does Hispanic culture play a role in the people part of the business?
Hey everyone, Avi Gorin, CEO and co-founder of Marquee, and I want to talk about the customer journey for a second. You never know as a restaurant owner where your guests are truly coming from. End of the day, we do see some patterns around 2 types of search behaviors: direct versus discovery. Direct search, for an example, would be jumping into Google and saying CaliBBQ hours, right? I know where I want to go to eat, but I'm missing a key detail. I need a little bit more information. Discovery, which is the bulk of searches, is barbecue in San Diego, restaurants near me, takeout near me, right? One of the best ways to be found for more discovery searches is leveraging keywords. Reviews are basically free content for you to leverage. Think about keywords that are relevant to your brand, your location, and include as many of those in your review responses as possible, right? How can you go about doing this? Let's set up reports, utilize tools like Google Trends, find out what's going on in your area and how you can help leverage these keywords and review responses, because someone else is doing that, right? If you need some examples, you could do anything from including summer menu, gluten-free menu, leverage specific menu items like the dreaded and beloved spice pumpkin anything in your review responses, right? Let them know what's coming. Let your reviewers know something they should come back and try. And of course, if all of this just seems overwhelming and daunting because you're already running a restaurant and have enough on your plate, just leverage the team at Marquee to do this for you. We handle all of this. We're experts in this space. We can automate this so it's just another item that you know you are taking care of. Again, that's marquee.com, marquii.com. Know you. However, we did recently buy marquii.com. So if you do misspell it, we got you. You'll still find us. We can still help you.
Yeah. I'm immensely proud about where we're from, but more than that, I'm very proud about our team and how many different people we serve, and how many individuals come to our restaurants, and just being able to share our culture with anybody that comes to our restaurant, I think is kind of what gives us a little bit of purpose. And so, even though we operate franchises, down in the Rio Grande Valley, which is primarily our market, but we span across Texas at the moment. I think that just the cultural differences and coming together and getting around, it's kind of interesting. I talk about this a lot, but what food does and what food helps us do, which is get around the table and just have a good time. I think that's really amazing. And so it brings people together, and it kind of creates that little magic. And so Hispanic or not, wherever you're from, I mean, if we're having a darn good burger or, a chicken basket, blizzards, sandwich, Slotsky, sourdough, fresh bread, I mean, we're all going to be sitting around chatting and having a good time. So I think that's pretty important. That's
awesome. What do you see for the future of F&P?
Yeah, Sean, thanks for asking. It's first and foremost, I believe happy people are productive people. Yeah. So I hope that I see a happy team. I think that's really important. I think our team needs to feel empowered and happy, and I think that'll lead to good decisions. But when it comes to pen and paper, some things have to be kind of black and white. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at a few acquisitions right now. We just opened 2 new restaurants this month, or this past month. That's August 1st today. But so a couple new builds, a couple acquisitions, and hopefully, successful next 30 years.
If someone's listening to this and they're thinking about getting into the franchise business, what advice would you give to them as far as selecting what brand they want to go with?
Specifically franchising?
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to be too cliche, but it comes back to, F&P, food and people. You got to love the product.
Yeah.
And then you got to realize that there's a partnership here. I mean, your franchisor and yourself are partners, and it's integral that partnership flourishes. And if not, you're going to find yourself kind of struggling on both ends. And so they're seeking out good operators and people that are in it for the right reasons. And we're also seeking franchisors that have a plan. And so I would say make sure you really enjoy the product and can get behind it. And then make sure you like or love the people that you're working with.
That's awesome. How can people follow you specifically? Are you on LinkedIn? You posting anything?
I'm sure you can find me.
What are you on?
I hope we're on everything. I got to talk to our marketing team. Yeah, we should be on a few things, but
be on a bunch of those things.
Yeah, exactly right. No, I mean, I'm on social media. I don't push it personally, but we have a Facebook page down in the Rio Grande Valley. It's DQRGV, but that's our primary social. Mm-hmm. But really, you can find us at fandpbrands.com, and hopefully in one of our restaurants.
Yep.
Yeah, man, we'd love to serve anybody that comes in, and it's a pleasure to be here and continue trying to deliver something that gives us purpose, man. And
That's
so
awesome.
we say it every day, but we're here to create smiles, and I hope that we can do that. And next time you see us, we're creating a smile on your face.
That's awesome.
Giving you a blizzard, or
look forward
turning
to
that
it.
upside down blizzard. That's
I
always
look
cool.
forward to it. We'll
Yeah,
make
man.
some videos down there.
That'd be great, Sean.
You got a
Appreciate
deal.
it.
Every single week, Wednesday, Friday, on the social audio app Clubhouse, it's a chance for you, the listener, you, the person that's watching this video, to come on stage, tell us your story, tell us about your restaurant. If you're a content creator, if you're in sales, if you're in marketing, everyone's in digital hospitality. So it's a welcome community. We have leaders from all over the globe that come on stage Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to get in touch with me, it's at Sean P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. That's on LinkedIn. That's on TikTok. That's on Instagram, Threads, X, all the platforms. I'm weirdly available. But we care about you and your story, and we're here to help. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time.
Hey, thanks, Sean. Glad to be here. Glad to be speaking with you.
Awesome.